Well, Tom, I guess you're wondering why I called you here today. Thanks. First of all, thanks very much to you and the family, Pat, Chris, and everybody for helping us do this and for making a lovely lunch. Dinner, it was a fabulous Sunday dinner, just what I wanted. And the reason I thought to do this recording was that we've been focusing a lot, you and I have been talking a lot about the 62 workshops and what led up to the 62 workshops. And I thought it'd be fun to spend a little time talking with you about what happened in 64, which was my beginning, 2 years later, and how you ended up in Iowa City and what allowed that to happen, why the university decided to have an experimental glass program. I still feel very fortunate that I happened to be there and needing a 2-hour credit course that particular summer in that particular school with you and Clayton was teaching the clay ceramics course and you were teaching the experimental glass class. Why did it happen in Iowa City?
Well, when I left Madison in '61, but I continued. Pat was from Madison, so we were back in Madison frequently, see her family, and Harvey had made a practice of taking me with him to conferences. I was his lab assistant for 2 years, and then I taught a full load of pottery classes there for 1 year before I left. And he took me to Midwest Designer Craftsman, Midwest College Art Association, and the, I don't know what all.
NCGA?
Yes, before NCGA, American Ceramic Society.
ACS, yeah.
And it continued after I left Madison. I'd go back up and we'd get together and drive to a conference together. And I think it was in the spring of '64. I think it was the Midwest College Art Association meeting, and we were at a cocktail party, get together, and I was following along behind him as he was going from chairman to dean to chairman, asking them why they hadn't started the glass program yet. And we ended up talking to Frank Seiberling, who is Dean of the College of Art at University of Iowa. And Harvey said to him, Frank, why haven't you started a glass program at Iowa? And Frank said, well, we'd like to, but, and in fact, we're ready to, but we'd have to hire one of our alumni to teach it. Tom here would do. I had taken one summer course of pottery with Jim McKinnell.
So you were considered alumni by Frank Seiberling.
And so they decided it right there within 5 minutes.
That A, they would teach it, and B, you're the teacher.
And I would get $500 for teaching an 8-week course. Harvey would get $500 for coming down and doing a 1-day demo.
Oh, no. And then you got a little bit of a special deal at the end of the class.
Yeah, I got the blow glass.
Where you could use the facility, because that was hard for you because in Iowa, up in Cornell, where you were teaching, you didn't have a hot shop.
No, I was living.
Didn't have access to hot glass.
Living in a college apartment, and I built a salt kiln outdoors, outside the apartment, and the end of the driveway. And the city declared it a public nuisance and shut it down. I thought nobody noticed the clouds of white smoke coming out of the salt kiln. I told that to Don Wrights once, and he said he also got his salt kiln shut down by Verona.
Yeah.
No, it was between summer school ended at early August, and we didn't have to be out of the studio until September, so I think we had 4 weeks. And that first year of '64, that was the second class in the country. after Harvey's class in Madison. And at the end, I worked there alone for the 4 weeks. But and I remember going down there trying to blow at night when it was a little cooler. It'd go down to 80 instead of 87. But the humidity went up.
Yeah. So
and I remember driving home back to Mount Vernon, 20 miles, and feeling the windows all open and feeling the humidity coming off the corn. And I think I could almost hear the corn growing.
Right, right. So when I got to the class, that June of '64, I kind of remember an almost empty Quonset hut room that belonged to sculpture that they gave to the glass, experimental glass, but we had to give it back to them. And I kind of remember a pile of bricks in one corner and a 1-inch gas line in the other corner, and that was the extent of the studio.
Right.
We did build it during class, didn't we?
I think so.
All the students pitched in, and we didn't know what we were building. You knew.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's the sculpture, it was the casting studio.
Yeah.
And
Foundry.
they told us that it's too hot in the summer to do bronze casting.
Yeah, so we'll let you blow glass.
So the glass blowers got it.
And I remember we melted all the microcrystalline wax that was stored in that room. And it dripped down the walls from the show.
Yeah, we also had the furnace. The back of the furnace was about 8 inches, I think, from the wall, which was, I thought, drywall. But the fire inspector came, and he said, "No, that's not drywall." And he went over and stuck his finger into it and pulled a hunk of it out. It was crushed corn stalks. He said, "It's still highly flammable."
Yeah.
But he said, "You're fine. You left an airspace.
Oh.
Don't block that airspace. You've got to have air flowing between the furnace and the wall to keep the wall cool."
Wow. Did he say anything about the burner?
No.
Yeah. No. Do you remember what kind of burner we had?
It was a Cleveland burner for burning brush, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Same thing we had in Toledo from the first. I copied the first furnace we built at the workshop.
Right. That's what I remember.